Hi, everybody, and welcome to Cleric. It is so nice to see everybody tonight. Hopefully, Mike is super with me earlier. I'm sure. No, you guys, I have Foozca with me. I am so excited about this. I did not so many months ago. And thank you for my I super. Um, my name is Sarah. This is Community Cleric. I am here in Mi'kma'ki this and happy almost Canada Day. Residents. Foozca, thank you for being here with me tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Foozca, she's been around on Twitter in the D&D capacity for very long.
No.
Life. But should go and follow her. We've got her information. Oh, my sound is cutting. Uh-oh. Is my sound still cutting out? Am I going to have to yell at my mic?
Hopefully not.
Is my sound still cutting out? No. Okay.
Not anymore.
It's
Yay.
good now. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to leave it like that and I don't completely mess things up. If you don't follow Foozca on Twitter, you should. Foozca is a tremendous dungeon master. Like I mean, I always start like saying about people and like, big part of, but y'all don't even her and to I remember just casually night just to kind of see who was around and to figure out I always highest view art with people kind of see who else is out there and celebrating. And I found Foozca on like a Friday night and just her laughing. But what really taught me the most was I was typing in chat and I was like, oh my gosh, this is serious. You guys, she wasn't off. She has to touch it. Just know not. Because she was looking at the camera and like it rolled and with her players,
Yep.
but she was also answering. I have never seen that amount of fantastic talent. And so I immediately Twitter and then like full circle now gonna retell for us here at Girls Run.
Yeah. Oh my.
Flaws of Fouzca. I don't think I've ever actually out loud before.
Exactly, and I've never said it out loud to you, so there's no way you would know. It's Cosvena, but yes, Claws of Cosvena.
Oh no, I've been saying it in my brain with like that so long.
It's fine.
Oh boy, I'm gonna get it.
It's a name I just made up.
All names made up, but we gotta learn how to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there.
Yes.
Hi, Ninners.
Mm-hmm.
So Ninners is going to be one of the stars. We've got a cast announcement. I hope.
Oh, great! Awesome.
Graphics for.
Mm-hmm. I had no choice. I grew up with a super nerdy family, and I think one of the biggest influences in my life was actually my cousin. He kind of like picked us up because for me and my brothers, we were first generation born here. My mom is from Peru, my dad is from Kenya, so we were the first ones here, and we were just trying to figure things out. But my cousin was like, "Hey, look at all these video games, D&D." I was playing D&D when I was like 7. Like way too young, but like already starting off in that. And then he continued to discover other things and kind of brought us along for it, and we all picked up on it so quickly. And like my mom was a huge nerd when she was younger too. Like she always, like, Thor is her hero. She used to watch the shows all the time. And my dad is huge into technology, so with like a combination of all those things, I just wound up like I was just in the world already. and I couldn't escape it, and I love it so much. It's almost a problem because at this point I have trouble watching normal things. Like if something's a drama, then I'm like, I need something more than just like two people in this world. I need like bigger ideas and maybe magic, something. But it's been in me since I've been young, and I don't see it going away anytime soon.
And you mentioned your brothers. Ninners is one of them, and he's going to be playing in
Yes.
this campaign, which we're super excited for. Like very rarely, like I think I'm Sean, who's right now, Akinful
Mhm.
founder dad. That's Jazz's dad. And I have only once gotten them to play in something together. They do one shots with me. And
Uh-huh.
so like, but you guys are like the other family. And I just love it. I think
Yeah.
I am I I'm a nerd
Mhm.
of them nerd, but my daughter, I'm doing it right with. She is a pretty hardcore nerd.
Hey,
So
nice.
look,
There you go.
you gotta get it. Did you mentioned that you did
Oh yes,
were
still.
did you fantasy science fiction or was it like comics?
Yes. It was both. I like the first fantasy books I was reading was like the R.A. Salvatore books with like Dris Bjordan and such.
Yes.
So that was most of my childhood. And actually, my brother, who also DMs on his Friday games, the character that I play, Ravaya, is a ranger, and she's very much based off of just when I was a kid. And I was like, he's the coolest thing ever. So that storyline and like R.A. Salvatore in general has always been like a really big influence. And I just recently started rereading his books, and I was like, this is my childhood in so
Are they
many ways. But
holding
yeah.
up? Are they holding up for you?
Oh, some of them. There are others where I mean it's not bad. It's just every now and then it's like, oh, this is kind of tropey, but I still love it.
I mean, tropey's fine.
But
Like we
yeah,
love a suspension of disbelief. Like
right.
tropey is fine with me. Like I think it's problematic that I'm a middle school teacher, and there are times where I'm like, a kid will come to me and be like, I'm a nerd. Like they'll like come out as like
Mhm.
nerd. And I'll be like, okay, that's okay. I got you. I'm prepared for this. I can handle this. Let me
Yep.
list you some books here. And then I'll go back. I'll be like, back and watch
Hmm.
like this is pathetic. Like I should not
I
have
right.
or like
Yeah.
I completely walk out like explicit because I'm like the prudish ace. Fast forward through all
Uh-huh.
that shit. So I forget that it's there. And then like
Hmm.
I'll recommend shit like students and they'll be like, I tried to watch that with my family and
Oh no.
hear it and I'll go back and watch it and be like, but
I
I
super follow
love that
this.
you like the R.A. Salvatore. There is a series of books.
Hmm.
Um, but again, there is now. Do you ever read Find Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Dungeons and Dragons has their own set of them where you play like a cleric or a fighter or a ranger, and then
Oh
like
my
it's
god.
like a full choose your own adventure book. I love it.
Are they older? Oh my god.
No, no,
Oh, that's probably exactly why.
they're and I got them at Costco. Like they're kind of everywhere.
That's
Yes, like
cool.
they
Oh
are
my
really good.
god.
Um,
I gotta get into those.
uh, were you more into fantasy or science fiction or both or like
This is when you'll probably see my brother Ned yell at me. I have always been a fantasy head, and he is sci-fi. And we get along a lot, so we yell about it to each other. But I always make the joke that I had no choice. Like everything they introduced me to when I was little was D&D. You know, a lot of like JRPGs. I was into comics too, of course. But other than that, almost everything was fantasy based, and like Lord of the Rings was my childhood for so long as well. So I was like, all these things are fantasy, and of course we grew up with like Star Wars and a lot of sci-fi things as well, and like we're big fans of that too. But it was just overwhelmingly fantasy, so I still prefer and love fantasy. I do love sci-fi as well, but it definitely, the fantasy aspect of things trumps it for me.
I had to ask because the other night we were and I made like an
Mhm.
offhand Star Trek reference that is of some out of date. And your brother was
Yep.
like, clocked it. Your brother looked up at the cam, like made that connection. I was like, I
Yep.
wonder about the family. They're an excellent family. I like them very much.
Super nerdy.
I like it.
Super nerdy. And
I,
like, and even with the comic books, like I love them, and yeah, my brother and I both love them very, very much. But uh our other brother, Puba is what we call him, is a savant with like comic book lore and knowledge and everything. Like there are the times we're watching stuff and he'll call things out and I'm like, God, I don't remember what the hell. Like I know that was in my childhood, but I don't remember it. So we all kind of like have our specialities, but we're all nerds, of course.
I totally get that. So I mean, my usual second question, how did you get into it? But like those things happened at simultaneous
Yes,
part of like
absolutely.
Genesis.
Yeah. I honestly think I was like playing TTRPGs probably before I was like actually playing video games on my own. Like I've been a gamer since I can remember, but like I think I remember being at a table with my cousins and my brothers and just watching that. And like when I finally got to actually start playing games on my own, I think it was after that, which usually it seems like it's the other way around. But yeah, we were pen and paper nerds for a while.
Um, so how does that like up in life,
Hmm.
raised in that nerd environment and having your family be supportive and like I don't know, enabling the adjective that we or verb that how, how does
Hmm.
that inform
I think it very much did, just because I started writing my own stories when I was younger, and then that turned like spiraled almost out of control, and I was writing almost like novels to like, and my friends would read them at school during lunch, and then I'd like keep writing, and so like sometimes I would stop at cliffhangers not on purpose, but because I just didn't have time to write in my English class or something, and they would be reading and be like, oh, what happens next? And so that turned into me learning how to illustrate because I wanted to draw the scenes that I was writing and that I had in my mind. And that turned into me finding Photoshop and trying to color in my drawings, and then that turned into me getting really into the like Adobe products and such. And I really would have loved to have kept up my illustration skills. I'm okay. But it turned into graphic design because I still needed to be creative. But at the time, illustration sounded like a very scary job future. Like now it seems much easier and like more open, not much easier. I don't want to speak for that that group of people because I don't know what their struggles might be. But when I was growing up, like it just sounded so scary. So I was like, graphic design, because I still need to be creative and I still need to kind of play with colors and express myself that way. And I think it's really helps just because I still love storytelling so much that that's also a big part of my job. And I can do it, I think, pretty seamlessly sometimes. So it absolutely shaped, I think, my creativity and my career, really.
I love that. And the reason I asked that, and you're maybe one of the asked that is because you've taken a huge load off graphics for your show. And like I'm just
Yes.
like I love doing graphics for a lot of the same it I have aphantasia. I don't my brain. I can use
Hmm.
other picture references creating that picture. And so
Hmm.
I've enjoyed doing that. I do all of the graphic worlds, but for you and for so perfect and I'm stoked. Um but you're
Yeah,
right,
I remember
like
seeing her. It looks amazing.
they're amazing. And she like they like illustrated all of those characters. That
I
was
saw.
incredible.
Incredible.
Incredible. Yeah, I was gonna say it
Okay,
has
don't
been
worry.
a whole week, let me tell you.
I understand.
Um
I understand.
okay, so family of nerds.
Yes.
When did it happen? What is that made that journey? How did you find out about it? That.
Uh-huh. I'm laughing because it's like it's the dumbest thing. Because I think most people kind of have the idea of like, I want to share this, or I want to meet other friends and have them come in. And for us, it was like I have the nickname of like the archivist in my family and friends because I love taking incredible amounts of like pictures and videos like in real life, and then also when we're gaming. Like I always recorded us when we gamed, and it wasn't for anyone else. It was just for us and like for me because sometimes I like to go back and watch them and remember the fun times and have a
Yeah.
good time that way. So I wanted to record us, but it was hard to record like the map and our faces and the roles at the same time. And I was like, all right, this isn't working. I like what I was doing was too janky and it wasn't very smooth. So I started looking up some of the streaming programs where you could just record into them. So you don't have to be streaming. You could just record, but
Yeah.
take piece by piece and make it work. So I did that for a little bit. And then I accidentally hit stream once instead of record. And then at the end, I was like, guys, I am so sorry. I accidentally streamed us instead of like just recording. And at the time, some people were uncomfortable. And I was like, I understand we won't do it again. But later on, they were a little more comfortable with it. And then we liked it also, because this is where the dumb part comes in. Is I was like, I would love if other people can see it, but mostly us. Because if I'm making a mistake, like I get so annoyed if what sound isn't working or if the dice aren't loading or something, or like someone's frozen, something like that. I was like, if you guys can watch so you can fix me as I'm recording, so it is a cohesive video, then I would love that. And then obviously we go public when you stream, so some people started kind of hopping on and watching us. And we're not advertising, we're not trying to like get huge or anything. Like we're just happy to be doing what we're doing. And a good part of that is because we're really old friends and family. Like I think the newest bond between us is like 10 years old. Like my childhood friend is with me there, and my brother is with me there, and our online friends that we got from online gaming joined us as well. So like we're so close with everybody, and I think that's why you see us laughing so much and why there's just so much comfort because we all know each other very, very well.
And that definitely cross like family games.
Mhm.
Brother does it, that familiarity and that like
Yeah.
in all of the best ways, not like in the cringy other, like when you really know
Right.
somebody for a long time. It
Mhm.
not in those ways, but like in all the good, like heartwarming, that I think is why friends and something like even called chin, they're not kind of
Yeah.
are trying.
Mhm.
Although there's beauty as well,
Oh, of
the
course. Yeah.
collaboration of arts. So my question is, why did you not a job interview rated on this? But like
Yeah. Yeah.
because you come from this table where everybody knows supports each other, why did you decide to like throw a creative world and be like, I want a game with
Yeah, that's what I was going next. This is the first time I would be DMing for strangers, and that is also why I was like, Nanners, what are you doing? You're coming with me because I don't want to do it alone. But I loved what you guys stood for. Like just even the support of you hopping in the channel and chatting about us and immediately like, I want to give you guys a shout out or whatever. Like it was kind of the like, this is the bridge to the rest of the world, because we've been just kind of sitting in our own little corner for a while. And I am someone who loves trying new things, even if it's a little scary. So for me, I was like, this is a good opportunity to not only try something for me, but also like hopefully, help with this channel a little bit more too. Because as you guys are getting off the ground, I love everything it stands for. And if I can help in any way, I think that's awesome. Regardless of anything else, I just kind of wanted to be a part of it and to help, even if that means me just like watching and, you know, chatting with you guys in the stream and such. I shouted Foozca. Oh, Sarah, you're still cutting in and out.
I know, I'm still I don't I've turned up the gain, so if it's way too loud, you guys in stream have to let me know. I can see the waveform change in podcast recording software. So,
Okay.
to Ryu, who's I'm really and I apologize and your ear. You know what's crazy? I just watched
Mhm.
it go from I use an Elgato Wave. Elgato, what the fuck, dudes? send some help.
How dare you?
Um,
Yes.
I I have an Elgato Wave. I turn up the gain, like, and then I
Hmm.
just watch it drop, like it's going
Oh,
down without me touching the thing. It's just like if anybody has an Elgato Wave and you're seeing this happen too, please let me know. I'm probably just gonna sit here for the rest of the night and fiddle with this thing. Hopefully, you don't hear me doing
oh
that.
no.
That's
Yeah.
so
Sorry, that's not working out though. Jeez.
that's look, I have definitely video. It's not video. Ryu, I'm so glad you're in chat. It's not video. It's on my
Oh,
wave. You
please.
know how it shows the lights? It's literally like counting down the lights as somebody's counting down the thing. And if I turn it up, it like drops back down. I don't want to
It needs
stop.
a nap.
I don't want to stop the thing. So I'm just going to hold my mic like this because this is how I can ensure that this fun continues. And hopefully, you guys don't hear me
Getting
touching
real
my
intimate.
mic for the rest of the night. And Ryu, future Ryu, current Ryu, I'm so sorry for the wave. Discord has auto gain control. We're not on Discord. We're using um
Well, it seems to be working
it
now. I
seems to
think
be doing it. All right. Well, okay.
yeah.
I'm just gonna do it this way. What other games other than D&D? What other games do
In terms of tabletop, we're trying to expand that right now. I know I've tried other things in the past, like very briefly, but D&D was such a big part. Nenner is actually, once we finish this campaign, we're going to be doing Pathfinder. And I love Call of Cthulhu, and I just don't have the time to run something, but I've been trying to get it in a place where I can run like a one shot for my friends and I and such. Because obviously, because of Claws of Cosvena, I'm a big fan of spooky things. So I love horror, and I'm trying to get into that more, even on like the tabletop version. But also because of the games I play, like video games, I have trouble playing tabletops where you can't like fight your way out of a problem. If it's all like puzzles or you have to speak your way out of things, then sometimes I struggle because I'm like, but can I just hit them and it just go away? So definitely trying to broaden my horizons there, and I think I will. I know, like, even Nenners and I talked about like Lancer and such, and other things that we are interested in looking into, but we haven't really sunk our claws into, unfortunately.
I I am doing a so I'm so sorry about this. I am play testing a game from one of our DMs who's run some one shots for us before, and she's
Hmm.
writing a new system called Drama Llamas, and um, it's like British reality TV show. So it can be like
Oh
Love
God.
Island or like Survivor or like whatever, and you play a llama who has like
Wonderful.
some traits and
Uh-huh.
and it can be like Big Brother also. And so then like the DM is responsible for like the arc and you have different based on which are doing.
You
Um
are. That's awesome.
I'm so in love with it. And so
Uh-huh.
our session last week in character creation. And then tomorrow we're playing I keep thinking today's Friday. On Saturday we're playing
Thursday, yes.
the first playthrough of it and I'm so excited for it. Shout out Chris. Um,
That sounds
it's
hilarious.
going to be so much fun. But have you played Alice's?
No, I've heard incredible reviews from it though, and I barely have time. I've been wanting to look at all these other things though, but it is literally like bookmarked on my like you need to check this shit out later, like bookmarks in my browser.
For sure, for sure. Like, get Darcy in our GRTW Discord. Get Darcy to
Hmm.
like show you how to get it set up, or even get her to facilitate it for you for the first time. Because
Hmm.
holy frickin' smokes, you can't talk. So I have some ideas on how I'd stream it.
Uh-huh.
But I'll leave that for another conversation. Um,
That sounds
It's
awesome
gonna
though.
be so good. Um, and then I guess my other question, have you seen the trailer for the new Dungeons& and Dragons movie?
I haven't because I'm annoying, and if there's ever a trailer for something that I want to see, I try not to watch it because I try to go in blind. Like I want to just take me on an adventure and don't let me know what's happening because I have ruined movies for myself because I'll be like, oh, that was in the trailer, so they have to get to this section, and I know how they're going to get there now because I'm going to connect the dots. That's why I say I'm annoying because everyone gets hype about trailers, and I'm like, no, I don't want to see it. I just want to watch it and enjoy. Uh, I know I'm gonna watch it out of if for nothing else than for sheer curiosity because I'm so interested in it. And I remember watching the really old one, not really old, I guess it's old. The one with was it Damian Wayans? Marlon? I don't remember which Wayans was in it, but one of them was in it.
Oh.
And at the time, I remember just being excited because there was like a black elf in it. And I was like, that's never happened in like the history of fantasy before in a representation scope. So I was more excited about that than anything else. But I
I
know I'm definitely going to see it for
It's
sure.
I mean, I think it's gonna be really good. It's in one of my favorite cities. I think Neverwinter favorite city in the Forgotten Realms. I have like a strong
Yeah.
place in my heart for Phandalin, because I play the
Oh,
Lost Mines
okay.
of Phandelver. So like Neverwinter
Hmm.
city where I always that that camp, and I have my head canon. So I'm super
Cool.
phone. Um,
Oh no.
I'm super stoked for it. So okay.
Mhm. Oh shoot! Also, Netters mentioned it. And I forgot to say it too. We were looking into playing Starfinder too. I do remember that.
Ooh,
Thank goodness you mentioned it because that was
I
something.
yes, I've had several guests who love sent me a fix and thanks. Um, I super appreciate auto get how to do that. I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to stop this interview because I'm having too much fun talking to you. I will fix this right after. Um,
Just,
we're gonna make this work. It's just gonna have to figure it
yes.
out. Hey, Mark Songs, thanks for following us here. Thanks for being with
Hey.
us. Um,
Yes.
what? Okay, we're halfway through. I have to keep.
Oh
I have to
jeez.
keep this
Okay.
train going. Um,
Yeah.
have you ever cosplayed? Would you ever cosplay? Have you ever LARPed? Would you ever LARP?
Okay. So, interesting story about LARPing. I have never done it, but my husband has, and he did it with like zombies or something, which is a whole story that cracks me up too. But he did LARPing, and I did TTRPGs, and we had never crossed the streams. So I got him into TTRPGs, and he was so patient with it because I was like, you have to get into this because we're all doing it. We have the game, and I want you to be there, and he is, which is wonderful. But I've never LARPed. Um, I've never. I don't know. I feel like I would be an awful LARPer because I really get into like D&D even as I'm NPCs or my characters or whatever it might be. But if something's funny or something hits me wrong, like I can see myself breaking character immediately. So I feel like I would be awful at it because if something funny happens and my character wouldn't laugh, I would be laughing and it would ruin everything. So like I I think they're seeing the talent that goes into some of the costumes and even the way they play. Like I'm in awe, and they're way above me. I would never be able to do that, but I love seeing it be done, I suppose. And as for cosplaying, I haven't officially cosplayed or like taken the time to sort of make a costume or anything. I don't even know if I'm even talented enough to try doing that. But I, of course, love dressing up, especially for Halloween, or if I get the excuse to. If we go to medieval times, I will
Oh
absolutely,
my
not
gosh.
medieval times, Renaissance fair or medieval times. Like I will dress up as much as I can, especially when they have those themed weekends because they had a superhero weekend, and I was like, great, that means I can be Okoye from Black Panther and just go as a Dora Milaje. So I'll do that. So if there's ever an excuse to dress up, I will absolutely do it. But it's not a passion, I guess. I don't know if you can hear my cat. He is
Oh,
yelling at me.
I love the cat. I am I'm
Okay.
down. I think I got it sorted out. Thank you, Ryu, for sitting
Okay,
fix.
great.
It was a Zoom setting. So hopefully this is fixed. So I love a Renaissance fair, but we're new to the East Coast, and so we don't we haven't been to any of them on the East Coast yet. So if you can recommend
Oh
one,
wow.
please do. I would love to go to one.
We go to the one in New York. Oh shoot. Oh God, I don't remember where it is. It's in upstate New York because we're in Jersey, so it's like it's a little less than an hour drive from where we are. So it's a little further up,
New
but
York,
still south in terms of New York.
like Maine for us is like 5 hours to get to Maine. So New York
Uh-huh.
is like another, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours. Like it'd be a long weekend
Oh,
trip.
okay. So you're way up there.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
for
We're
sure.
we're north of
Okay.
Maine. We're in Canada north of. So,
Gotcha.
um okay. I love that. Have you ever played Vampire the Masquerade?
No. I'm awful with this stuff. Yes. I have watched people play it and it looks amazing, but no, I have not.
Okay,
Jesus Christ, you might as well
I
fly.
have, you're not wrong, Ninners. I have like a standard question that I ask for people who have played Vampire the
Uh-huh.
Masquerade. But
Hmm.
like, because
You can skip that because I don't
I
know it.
started streaming on a Vampire the Masquerade channel, but I did content on the channel. And so
Oh.
I know it's like when you're raised in like a southern US state, so you learn enough Spanish because there's just kind of like environmental Spanish around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
It's
so like
osmosis.
there's a little bit of osmosis. And so like
Mhm.
I understand enough Vampire the Masquerade because I was around people talking about it. So I have like one party trick question that I ask about it, and that's really all I know.
You can't ask me, sorry.
That's okay because I don't understand the answer most of the time when people are talking about it. So that'll be our little secret.
Ah,
Um,
it's like entertainment. Yeah.
do you prefer to DM or do you prefer to play, and why?
Ooh, I don't know. That's the tough part. I really don't know. I think it's so close. It's probably like a 55-45 split if it comes down to it. But I think I'm leaning a little more towards DM. But I think that's mostly just because I have a ton of ideas, and if I just get them out in little NPCs here and there, or like a god or goddess, some lore here, some whatever there, the villain, whatever, like it lets me kind of just get that out in a certain way. And as a player though, I love being taken on for an adventure. Like as I said, I don't like watching trailers because I just want to like take the wheel, let's see where we go kind of thing. And being able to like delve into a character and get deep into that, I love that stuff. And I love also not knowing what's around the next corner, so being that player is fun because if the DM's like, and to rescue, which hopefully never happens, but if something happens then you have to react to it, and I love that aspect of it too. But I think also as the DM, there's a strange kind of like wholesomeness to it because I get to watch my friends and family shine.
Right.
Like I'll give them something, but I get to like sit back and just watch them work their magic. And I love doing that because sometimes when you're the player, it's easy to get in your head, right? Because you're like, okay, let me make sure I'm not talking too much. Let me make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on. And so I can react or not react. Do I know this? Does my character know this? But as a DM, it's like, here you go, be awesome. So I think I lean towards that because it's so much fun to watch them react to things and then use their minds. And sometimes they break my mind because they'll be like, well, maybe we can do this. I'm like, yes you can, I totally knew you were going to do that and I planned for it. Writing down notes.
A hundred
So
percent. 100%.
I love that.
I run the D&D club at the schools that I teach at. And so,
Mhm.
I'll get like kids who want to DM for the first time and they'll be like, "But I want to do this puzzle," or like, "But I don't know how to solve it." I'm like, "You don't have to. That's not the job of the DM, is to figure out the solutions. The job of the DM is to
Mhm.
put something ridiculous in front of people and then go
Yep.
with the best idea." Like, you don't have to provide this. In fact, it's better if you don't, because they will
Right.
never get it in the way that you want them to, and you're going to lock them behind a door, and they're never going to get to see that other cool thing. So you just say
Mhm.
that there's a door. You let them figure out like how to do that. I
Exactly.
I'm totally with you on that, and you're right about
Mhm.
letting everybody shine. I think that that's something that I love the most about being a DM in I get to DM for is finding those
Yes.
little nuggets of like, this is an area that I can create where I know this person is wanting to explore this, or I really get to like
Mm-hmm.
manipulate the fabric of the situation to be like in our home campaign right now, which is going on nearly 3 years, although we've taken about a month off, which is the longest we've ever taken off. We are consistent Saturday home game. It's just been a
Mm-hmm.
crazy couple of weeks. And one of my players is dead. The other one has returned home to Waterdeep. He's a Waterdavian noble who like
Mm-hmm.
eschewed his family years ago. And it's gonna be to get to see his backstory unfold and to get to write that with him. I'm so excited. I love those parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you
Yeah.
said about I have so many ideas, and so I just make them as my NPCs. I have never thought about that, but you're right. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite NPCs were PCs that I would never get to play because I'm
Yep.
too much of a control freak to play for other people, is the reality.
Right,
Uh,
right. Yeah, yeah.
I
And
love
I
that.
like the idea that you can, break the rules to, in your world, right? Because like if you're a player and you're trying to break the rules, and it can look like you're, trying to like god mod or something like that. They're making fun of me. Brutal fights in the orphanage. Yeah, they had a fight with a demon in an orphanage like a few weeks ago. So they're
Oh,
not letting me live that one down. But yeah, like in that way you can at least play with the rules as a DM, because as a
right.
character, as a player, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever's around you, and it should be that way, and that's fun too. But as a DM, for example, I was kind of annoyed that there was no sorcerer origin that could play with necromancy. Like if you were a necromancer, you were absolutely a wizard. But I was like, it'd be kind of cool if someone like just naturally could do that. Like how terrifying would that be too, right? Like that person never learned how to do that. They just raised the dead out of nowhere. So one of my NPCs, she was a villain, but she was a sorceress who was a necromancer, and that's just not in the game. But I was like, I think it would be cool. Let's just see how it works. And I love the creativity and what you can do with it. And again, seeing everybody else shine too, because that's I think one of my favorite parts of. I love group dynamics, because being the DM, you get to watch the group dynamic happen in
Yeah.
real time, and it is so fascinating. And when one person fails, it's just another chance for someone else to shine, and that group to just kind of come together and help each other. And I love that shit. That is just, I love it. So watching them work as a team is, a treat for me.
Honestly, like you're speaking to the reasons why GRTW has been like in my heart for so long is like this idea that we're stronger when we're together, and to see
Absolutely.
like, everybody start to play off of each other, and all of you who are like the dungeon mystery storytellers leaning into each other's games and like sharing ideas and shouting each other out. Like I'm so I love what you've said there, and all of those things are so true around this. And like, I don't know, I'm a former theater kid, which is how like I got into it, and so all of those things that I
Yeah.
miss about doing theater and live collaborative storytelling are the things that I look for the most as a player and as a DM. um
Hmm.
how do you feel about when the dice are not allowing the story to be told? Are you like really strict? Because I know you like you guys roll publicly on Roll20 and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
are you super strict around the dice are a chaotic element and we will always follow them? Do you ever fudge your dice rolls?
I never fudge my dice rolls. I love the chaos of it. There was one that scared the bejesus out of me. This is all kind of like common knowledge. We already passed this, so it's fine now. But Netters' character had a crown on that he didn't know, but a failed lich was in it. So if he died with that crown on, the lich could take his body and just puppet it around, and now
That's
that was his new
amazing.
body. And he would never get that character back. Like that character would be gone. So there was a fight that they were in where it was another big bad that they were fighting, and that his character, everybody else went down too, but he went down 3 times. And as a DM, I was like, oh my god, because like he didn't even know at this point. Like they found out later on that could have been a reality. But I love the stress and the tension that comes from that chaos,
Right.
from the dice. And like I always say, I'm never never trying to fight them. You know, like it's never a DM versus player thing.
100% agree.
But like, yeah, but like with the dice, I think it just adds that element of like, who the fuck knows? You know, there were times where I have a big bad who's really, really cool, and I think it's going to be a great fight. And then my husband stuns him in the first round, and everybody gets crits, and then it lasts like a round or two,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's the dice too. Sometimes it works in someone's favor, sometimes it doesn't. And I love that. And I think we've been very lucky in the sense that it's never really been to the detriment. Like no one's ever lost a character or lost something really dramatic to a dice roll. And I give chances for someone to save themselves or whatever. It's never just a like, oh, well, you not got a natural one, so now you're just dead. Like that's almost never the case. And again, with the group dynamics, it gives others a chance to save, their friends or be the hero in that moment. So I'm kind of strict with it. I think I'm a little more lenient in the sense that at the end of every single one of our sessions, I have all of my players whisper to me two of their votes of who they think had a great game. And whoever the top two are, they get inspiration for the next session.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that inspiration expires after that session. So they have to use it that night. Right. So there's no idea of like, I'm gonna hold on to this. So in that way, I am like lenient, because if they're like, yo, we're gonna fail this roll, I know you have a die, like, do you want to roll it right now? So they can fudge with like about 2 rolls a night.
Sure.
But other than that, everything else is like whatever comes out is what comes out.
I love that. Ryu does something similar in her games. She's very liberal with giving out like DM inspiration. And her players at the start of like Roll for Luck, her players would hold on to them. And she was like, I would like to give inspiration for that, but you're still holding on to it. If you don't spend it, I can't give you more. And like helped train them into like, and she gives it out so liberally. And I love that. I forget that it's a mechanic because I fudge dice. Yeah. Look, dice are another player at my table, and my job is to make sure that everybody's telling the best collaborative narration. Look, I fuck the dice. If they are not telling, if they're not being a good teammate, they don't get to play that night. I am capricious. I am a benevolent dictator, and I will throw them out at a whim. And I do often, except for when I killed somebody in the second.
Jeez, that sounds great out of context.
He rolled a nat 1 for his death saving throw. And it was just like it was Lost Mines of Phandelver. It was the first like goblin ambush on the road. It was a series of unlucky events. And he kind of had a built-in mechanic that we leveraged around reincarnation. I wasn't anticipating it coming in until later on, and I wouldn't have killed anybody else's character, but
right. It worked for that scenario.
From a dramatic narrative story point, like it was like, oh shit. And my other players who really didn't, I think they all kind of knew each other, except for Najra was new to our group and I was new to the group, but they all knew each other and had played with each other. And it was like Coulson dying in, Avengers. It like gave them this moment of like, okay, this is serious. We're going to do this. And so I think I love a character death. Yeah. A character death is one of my favorite things as a DM, not because it's fun to go through, but because it is such a dramatic element of like, I have this whole lore around the Raven Queen and how she like, almost like the ferryman going to the other side. And ultimately the player gets to decide whether the character comes back or not, because I'm not holding that. But like those moments of throwing aside my game plan and just living in this moment of how is everybody's character feeling? Where is the reality? Where's the truth? Where's the nuggets? Like I love those sessions. Absolutely. And I hate those sessions.
It's draining. Yeah. Like, I've only ever had one PC death, and it was like BBEG fight, but it changed every single character that was there. Yeah. One of them changed his whole subclass. Like he was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm like, changed from there. Like, and all those characters, and even now they still talk about it. And like this happened way before like our pre-recording days is what we call them. So this happened probably over a year ago. Actually, definitely over a year ago. And they still talk about it, like both in and out of character. Like it was such an important moment. So yeah, it's exactly that. Like I'm not excited to kill one, but when it happens,
You
it's such a game changer. It's
don't,
amazing.
yes, don't just let it slide. Like really
Yeah.
lean into that moment as a DM because it will
Mm-hmm.
change your table if you
Oh yeah.
there should never be a character death that isn't a moment of gravity. It should never be a moment
Yes.
of levity, even if it happens like in a serious, like in a silly or like fucking crazy, ridiculous way. Lean into the moment because there will be those
Mm-hmm.
repercussions. I want to go back to
Yeah.
something you just said because I need more
Sure.
details around this.
Yes.
You just said that you just said,
Oh no.
oh, my brain is so burned tonight.
No, it's okay.
I'm gonna go back and watch this, and I'm gonna text you on Discord because there was
Sure.
something you said that was
Was
just
about my
like, I need to know more. She loves giving her players trauma. That's not what it was. That's not what it was, players. I mean, she may have said that, but that's not what I wanted to dive deeper into. Changing subclass. Blandy, yes, thank you.
Oh, there you
Thank you
go.
so much.
Hey!
Do you thanks, bud. Thanks for being supportive.
Thank you, Flandy.
Um, did you do you allow your players to like retroactively, like if they have 10 levels in Way of the Astral Monk and then they're like,
Mhm.
fuck that, actually, BBEG killed my bestie, I'm going
Mhm.
assassin rogue, baby. Do you allow them to like retroactively shift all of that? Like how open are you to that part of the narrative?
I'm open as long as it makes sense. Like, if it's not like I was a wizard and I'm turning barbarian and my strength suddenly goes to 23 or something, like, obviously that is like too much for me. But I think for the most part, if someone wants to do something, I will never say no. I will just kind of tailor it to make sure that it still makes sense within like the rule set or whatever it is. But if it is something like that where it's like, I'm going to stay the same class, excuse me, I'm just going to change subclass, I am all about that. That is awesome. And even if they want to change classes, like they're relatively high level. So if they went from level 10 in one class to another, I would probably drop them a little bit or make them like kind of multi-class just so they're still potent. But yeah, I'm all about that. Like if it makes sense to the narratives and stuff. And I think that's the beauty of DMing, right? Because it's just like rules, fuck it. We're going to do what we want and what's really, really cool. And if you want to go from bard to, edge lord assassin, yeah, let's do that. I'm cool. I'm cool with that as much
Right?
as I can. So long as I can make it make sense and the numbers work for you, I'm in. I love that shit. I think it's amazing.
I have started incorporating like serious downtime into my things. So we'll be
Mm-hmm.
at a session and I'll kind of let my players know up front, like, hey, at the end of this, like when you guys meet this milestone objective or whatever's about to happen, we're going to skip forward in time like 6 months. So if there's something you want to do with your character, like change
Yep.
class, now would be the time that you could go back to school or you could go find a monk or like whatever. And like I've started bringing those, I've started making them more, because I think that they always existed, but we just never explicitly named them. Like we've started
Right.
really like explicitly having them as part of our games, and it has been so cool to see the other things. So like I don't know about you,
Mm-hmm.
like when I play Elder Scrolls or I'm playing like a game, I'm not only leveling up my fighting skills. I will get fucking tired of the main quest or the group raids or whatever, and I'll go do
The
fishing
break
for
off.
2 weeks. Like,
Right.
I would go catch all the
Yeah. Yeah.
fish in,
Yeah.
whatever. Grotwood is my current Elder Scrolls that I'm trying to get my fishing quest achievement in. I have so many hours. I have I have
That's how it
hours in
goes, though.
Elder Scrolls Online that are like they're beyond nerd credit and now they're like shameful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there is an amount of hours in a
I did
video game
that.
where you can be like, I have 4,000 hours in that video game. They're
Yeah.
beyond. So I
Right.
don't say how many hours I have anymore. I love, but
Awesome, though.
like, if somebody wants to go open up, level up their cooking skill, like go level up. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Absolutely. And
Um,
I do that thing too, exactly, that downtime of like if we have downtime, I also kind of make up things again, like the homebrew of it, because it's like if you're not if you don't want to learn something new, you just want to get better at what you're doing, then I'm like, okay, cool. Rather than having 4 of those a day, you'll get 8 because you took time
Right.
practicing that. And that's
Right.
where you how you spent your time. So yeah, I'm all about that. So tailor your character. Let's make some fun things,
I
especially
love
if it
that.
makes sense in your downtime.
I love that.
Mhm.
Show us your dice. Show us some of your favorite
Sure.
dice. This is one of my
Sure.
favorite parts of this show is I
I'm
love dice and I just love seeing everybody's dice.
I can find it. I actually have something that's a little unorthodox that I want to show you first. These are from Citadel Black, and they're actually, I don't know how well this is even
It's
showing at
showing
all.
up that shows up really well.
Oh, good. Okay, so these are actually like character creation dice. So on there's 2d6s, and this is your alignment. So they have like chaotic, neutral, good,
That's
evil,
so
good,
cool.
neutral on one, and then the d12s are the classes. So there's ranger, barbarian, everything, and then on the other one they have their races. So halfling, turtle, blah blah blah. Like so you can roll all of these and then
And
just get
just get a
like a
character.
character,
Like as a
right? Or
DM,
just get an idea. Yep. That's exactly where I was going with it because I was like, sometimes I just roll it and like initially I'm like, I would never play that character, but oh my god, wouldn't it be so cool if? And then that turns into like an NPC or something. So I love these. Like they're super simple. They're just like black, but I got them on
that's
Amazon. So
look.
Citadel Black, like character
Uh
creation die. I love
And
them.
Anne, if you're still here, can you find the Amazon link for, I don't care if it's Amazon Canada. The Americans can
Yeah, it is.
figure out. Let's give them the Canadian link. They can go find their own Amazon.com link.
Yeah.
Find me an Amazon link for still in chat. Okay.
Yeah, I love those so much. And I those are the ones I, despite us rolling on roll 20 and everyone seeing them, those I roll like every day just on my coffee table, just like dicking around. But I love them very much. I'm going to show you actually my first set of metal dice, which was kind of like our celebration to getting back into D&D, because my brothers and I, we were playing probably, I think we played like 3.5 and then we stopped for a while and then we missed all of 4. And it wasn't even because people were giving bad reviews or anything. We were just busy, I guess. And then my other brother got us into oh my other brother got us into say hi to your mom, Flandy, back into D&D. So when we did, I wanted to get us some dice that were really, really cool. So this was my first set of metal. I don't know if it's even going to show really well.
It does.
But it's
Yeah, you got
actually
to put
glow
your
in the
hand
dark.
behind it and then it shows it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it shows so clear. They're
Good. Yeah. So this is
gorgeous. Where are they from?
it glows in the dark.
What?
I don't remember. But
They
it has
have
this
to be
cool
level up
taste.
dice. I think those must be
Don't
level up
remember.
dice.
Oh god, they're amazing. They're so heavy though. Like the first few times I rolled, it was like donk every time.
Mhm.
Because like whenever we played, we were always on like those like beer pong tables that you
Yeah.
could get. Like it's one of those. So they're like plasticky and hollow. But when you drop one of these, oh my god, it makes quite the noise.
So
But yeah, they glow in the dark.
go ahead.
Sorry,
They glow in the dark.
and they're my favorite color, which is kind of like a tealy turquoise and silver. So that's just like always been me. So I got these and I was very excited. And I got my brothers their own sets because I was like, we're getting into it. Let's get back into it. So I think I got Len like black and gold, I think. And then my other brother, his favorite color is red. So I got him red glow in the dice one, a dark glow in the dark dice. Words are hard.
Do you have like a dice tray or like a dice mat now that you roll on?
Yes. Yeah. I have like 4 or 5.
Do you have
which
the wood ones or
all.
like the clicky together
No.
ones?
It's the clicky together
Look.
ones. I want to get a wood one, but like because we play online now, I'm like, when am I gonna use this?
Yeah.
I don't get to use it too much.
I have a glass desk. And so even resin dice sound fucking atrocious on my desk.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Mama Dukes, I didn't mean to swear in front of you. I hope she can't hear me. I didn't realize that there is going to be somebody I needed to be respectful around. I'm sorry for my swears.
I know. Well, I curse way more than you. You're fine.
Okay. I want to be respectful of people. Dice cam. We would love to get to a point where we get some dice cam because I love rolling. I love rolling them.
Yeah.
Okay. What other dice? Keep showing them. If there's more.
Yes, I actually, this set was given to me by one of my good friends, and she wrote on it, which I thought was adorable. But she lived around me and she moved away. So when she got me these because we used to talk about how we love like green as a villain color. So she got me these like black and green. This is also metal,
They're
but they're
so
really like
shiny. They're
pretty
so
and shiny.
reflective.
Yep, they're so cool, and they have that like nice villain kind of color scheme. So, and it has like this nice case that it came in, and everything. It is like beautiful. So,
That's
um,
beyond just average villain. That's like Rolls-Royce
yeah,
British villain.
yeah.
That's upper
No, I loved it.
class, top shelf villain.
It is, and so we both just like loved, especially because we loved like the Joker colors, the purple and the green. And it was to the point where when she was getting married, I was like, let me do your wedding invites. And she was like, what colors can I use? And I'm like, whatever you want. She was like, purple and green. Let's make it a villain thing. I was like, yes. So we bond on those colors, and she got me those when she moved away. So I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then like the rest of mine are kind of like the typical sort of like colorful plasticky boys. But what I think I love more is we got this at some sort of festival, but it's like a Marvel dice bag.
Oh,
It's just like a sack with all the like old Marvel stuff on it. And this whole thing is just like full of dice. But that's where I keep the rest of my kind of normies, all my
I
plastic ones.
I love that. And do you, when you're picking dice, do you pick them like per character or do you roll a bunch to see what's rolling well that night? Like, what's your strategy?
It's usually per character because of color scheme. So when I'm playing Revia, my ranger, I usually go for my like gold and green ones or something like that. And then if I'm not, but if I were playing like a more colorful character, I have like this creamsicle, like fun colors. So because I'm a designer, I guess, right? The graphic design coming out of me, I'm like, it has to match the color of the character. So that's usually what I do. If I'm DMing though, I do love using my metal dice because it just, it's like you roll with authority. Like when it hits the table, it's
100%.
so heavy and loud. So I love it.
Well, and that's been one of the biggest drawbacks to like us taking our home game online or when I'm DMing online is one of the best parts of DMing is the power trip of when you roll a dice and everybody at the table is like, holy shit, why is she rolling that dice? That's not
Right.
good. What is
What's
going
on?
on? My players
Yep.
can't see when I'm rolling the dice. So like the sound really like makes and I've started like juggling the dice back and forth in my hands to like draw attention to the fact that
Yeah. See what I'm doing.
that I'm holding a dice before I go
Yeah.
to roll it. But like yeah, it's really I think that's one of my favorite parts about playing in person that I don't get to experience.
Yeah.
Look, Foozca, we're out of time because this hour
Okay.
sails. I tried to warn you. This hour
Sales absolutely does.
sails
Oh
past.
gosh.
Um,
Hmm.
if you guys are looking, I'm going to throw her information in chat again. You are going to be able to see her Monday night starting very quickly. I think the 12th.
14th. Oh God, I don't know
I
dates.
think it's
I'm
the
so bad.
12th.
I think you're right.
I think it's the 12th.
What's the 11th? It's the 11th. We're both wrong.
Is it the 11th? Holy.
It's Monday the 11th. Yeah.
Look,
I have it
very
on my
soon,
calendar. That's the only
very
reason I know.
soon, Claws of Cosvena on Girls Run These Worlds right here. You're going to be able to see Foozca running that. I'm so stoked. I was so glad to see this application come in, and like it's just been so much fun getting to know your group. I think you've got just a phenomenal cast. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. So
I think so.
I'm
Definitely.
super stoked. Where else can you be found? Tell people, if they wanted to see you in the next 24 hours, where would they do that?
I am very sporadic on Twitter. I'm horrible at it, and I apologize. I usually just kind of like respond to people or like things. But in general, every Friday, Saturday, I'm streaming with my friends and family on my channel Foozca, where you can see us laugh and then be dramatic, probably in the same 4 minutes of each other. But other than that, I will be running my Claws of Cosvena from July to August. It's an 8-episode series. But that's essentially what I'm doing right now. We game and stuff, and my YouTube is a little bit weird because it has also like our gaming when we're just fooling around time too. But most of the time active on Twitch every weekend for sure.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest tonight. Thank you to everybody
Thank you
who's
for
in
having me.
chat. You guys made it so much fun tonight. I really appreciate that. To everybody who's watching this VOD or YouTube, thank you for being here. Hit the follow bell, subscribe. I used to be much better at this. My middle schoolers are so impressed that I know like all the things that you can do. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be back next week. My guest is. I literally just sent out the thing, so I should know who my guest is. And we've got to find somebody to raid. Anne, who? And find me somebody to raid. I'm the worst at this, you guys.
No, you're juggling so much. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. Halfly Nikki is going to be my guest next week. She is somebody who we've been trying to get on for a really long time. So I'm super excited for that. Thank you, Kits, for the follow. We super appreciate that.
Hey, Kit.
Here at Girls Run These Worlds. We're going to find somebody to raid in just a second. Ninners, thank you. Glyza's streaming. Oh, well then that's a no-brainer. We will go we will go support them because we love them so much. They are the third culture kid of your nightmare. That is their words, not me. I did not. I am aware that sounds awful coming from me. That is their phrasing. They say that.
Got it.
For their announcements, okay? And I've just learned it. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Foozca, for being here. We will see you all next week. Have happy end of Pride, everybody. For my Canadian followers, I tomorrow, I wish you a good Canada Day. I don't know, for our Americans, I know that 4th of July is coming up. Canada Day is a little bit different. Oh no, is there really a raid coming in? No, we're gonna go raid. Oh, no. It's the wrong command. Okay, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Here I should point out here in Canada, our day is Canada Day. It's July 1st. It is not like a patriotic huge day. It is has turned into in the last few years a day of like somber understanding that we need to reconcile with our First Nations and bring reconciliation with our Indigenous peoples. So happy Canada Day, everybody. Even if you're not from Canada, maybe find out whose land you're living on. That's something that you can do your time tomorrow to recognize and support your Canadian friends. Thanks, everybody. We will see you all next week. For real this time. We're out. Bye.
Bye.